Two men in suits, soaked by relentless rain, lay side by side on a bed of flattened foliage. Over their eyes, crude, hand-cut lead masks, heavy, inexplicable, and chilling. Lead, meant to shield, but from what? The scene felt ritualistic, not accidental. A boy searching for his kite made the discovery. The lead masks became the focal point of an enduring enigma. Before the mystery, they were simply men, Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel Jose Viana. Friends, neighbors, colleagues from Campos dos Goitacazes, both married with children, both electronics repairmen. Their lives were ordinary, grounded in circuits and radio frequencies. Miguel, 34, was a family man. Manuel, 32, quiet and serious. They shared a fascination with science and technology, often tinkering with gadgets. Yet, within this world of logic, a different interest took hold, one that would lead them far from safety. On August 17, 1966, they told their families they were going to São Paulo for business. Instead, they boarded a bus to Niterói, across the bay from Rio. This was the first quiet tear in the fabric of their normal lives. The world they left behind was one of predictable rhythms and community. They were not men who courted danger. The journey to Vintem Hill was a step away from everything they knew. It was a deliberate move from a world of clear rules into one governed by the inexplicable. The bus arrived in Niterói in the early afternoon. The men bought raincoats, a bottle of mineral water, and were seen nervously checking the time. Their journey continued by ferry, then bus, then on foot up Vintem Hill, a challenging, secluded climb. Why this hill? What appointment could possibly be kept here? They moved with purpose, heading to a predetermined spot. Witnesses saw them begin their ascent around 2:30 p.m. Another claimed to see two men hurrying down the hill later, frightened, raising questions about mistaken identity or other participants. The last confirmed sighting placed them heading into dense vegetation as dusk approached. Were they filled with anticipation, fear, or duty? Their climb was a point of no return. They left the world of known things behind, ascending toward a rendezvous that would end in silence. The hill itself seemed to be waiting, a silent observer to a drama known only to its actors. 4 days later, their bodies were discovered. The scene was one of eerie order. Side by side, in suits and raincoats. No signs of struggle or violence. It was as if they had simply lain down and expired. The initial theory was poison, but autopsy results were inconclusive. The tranquility of the scene was its most disturbing feature. Between them, an empty water bottle, 2 wet towels, and the lead masks. Each item seemed part of a carefully assembled kit. The raincoats, towels, water, and masks. Each had a purpose. But what? The lack of a clear cause of death forced investigators to look closer at these artifacts. The coroner found no trauma or identifiable poison. The men had simply ceased to be. The placement of the bodies, the attire, the bizarre artifacts, it all pointed to a ritual. This was not a random act or accident, but a planned event. The men appeared to be willing participants in their own demise. The scene was a message in an unknown language, a moment of high strangeness preserved in time. Investigators found a notebook in Miguel's workshop. Among technical schematics was a page with a cryptic message. 4:30 p.m. be at the determined place. 6:30 p.m. ingest capsules. After effect, protect metals, await mask signal. Suddenly, the men's actions had a script. The nervous glances, the ascent, it was all part of a schedule. The determined place was surely Vintem Hill. The capsules suggested a deliberate act, but no traces were found. Protect metals. What metals? And from what? The mask signal implied the lead masks were not just protection, but receivers, waiting for a trigger. The note became the Rosetta Stone of the case, confirming their intent was deliberate and methodical. But the plan itself belonged to a reality governed by unknown rules. The note is a fragment of a larger belief system. It suggests the men did not believe they were ending their lives, but beginning something else. Their actions were not suicide, but transformation. As the official investigation stalled, other theories surfaced. The men's interest in electronics had merged with a fascination for UFOs and spiritualism. They were part of a group attempting to contact extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings. The lead masks may have been to shield their minds during a psychic event or protect their eyes from a blinding light. The capsules could have been hallucinogens, meant to heighten perception. A friend claimed they'd attempted a similar ritual before, which ended in an explosion. The Vintem Hill event was not isolated, but the culmination of a dangerous obsession. Their deaths were not malice, but belief, following instructions from an unknown source, with absolute faith. The lead mask's case exposes the vulnerability of the human mind to belief. Manuel and Miguel were technicians, grounded in logic, yet drawn into a system so powerful it led them to a fatal ritual. Their notebook fused science and spiritualism, a blueprint for transcendence. Each step was taken with calm purpose, making the outcome more chilling. They were not madmen, but diligent followers of a deadly instruction manual. The case is a mirror, reflecting our own relationship with the unknown. It lingers because it's not just about two men on a hill, but about the power of belief and the fine line between faith and delusion. It asks us to consider where our own beliefs might lead. The water bottle is a detail that introduces doubt. If poison was involved, why buy water publicly and leave a traceable container? Perhaps the capsules were not poison, but psychoactive substances meant to open their minds to the mask signal. Could the signal have been a force powerful enough to be lethal? The men's nervousness suggests they were meeting a deadline set by someone else. The guard's testimony hints at other participants, perhaps leaders of their group, who removed evidence. Manuel and Miguel may have been willing, but disposable participants, pawns in a deadly game. The most dangerous element may have been human manipulation, not the supernatural. Nearly 60 years later, the silence from Vintem Hill remains. The lead masks sit in a police museum, their purpose still locked away. The cryptic note is debated, never deciphered. The case is a modern myth, a perfect mystery that refuses resolution. We are left with the image of two ordinary men, lying in their Sunday best, eyes covered by lead. They were waiting for something, a signal, a visitor, a transformation. Their quiet patience is the most haunting detail. They did not struggle, they simply waited, with faith we cannot comprehend. The silence they left is louder than any explanation. The lead mask's case is a journey into the heart of the unknown. It reminds us the universe is not obliged to make sense. Some events resist explanation, standing as silent monuments to the unknown. What signal are you waiting for?